The final Premium Live event for 2025 is done for WWE, and Survivor Series War Games may have been very underwhelming. Maybe just as bad as WrestlePalooza because the surprises was very minimal, if nothing. There wasn't many twists and turns, and there wasn't any storylines that I could look at where I could be like, they actually did something different. It may have just been a recycled repeat of last year's Survivor Series. But with all the pieces of 2025 in place to finish out the rest of the year, we now get ready for 10 days from now, 10 nights exactly. Saturday night's main event at the Capital One Arena in DC. It's the farewell for John Cena, the ending of the tour and the ending of a 23-year career. How's it all going to go? What's the twist and what's the turn? Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Falls Gone Anywhere on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. Erik Dunn here from Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Happy holidays and happy December to everybody. Hope y'all enjoyed Thanksgiving. I gave the preview of the card last week. And I think it's safe to say Ron and I didn't do too well. Ron and I did not do too well. It was a night where there was a lot of different twists and turns, and there was a lot of different elements that I don't really think were done too well. But that's a conversation that we'll have throughout our time together here. Just to give you guys a heads up as well, that due to a scheduling conflict for me, the final program that'll be in 2 weeks from tonight is actually 2 weeks from tomorrow night. So Thursday the 18th at 5 is the finale of FCA for 2025, as I will be off for 2 weeks for the holiday break. And we'll pick right up on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. By the end, I'll also give you guys on next week's show what that final program is going to look like regarding the order of the itinerary. But the hardest thing that I think we can look at for WWE right now is what direction are they going to go with? There's no saying about the Rumble right now and what's going to happen with that. There's no telling of that mess. But yes, we'll see what happens. But however, you can find me every Wednesday at 5 live on YouTube, Kick and Rumble at Rhode Island Broadcasting, live on Twitch at RI_broadcasting, and Twitter at Broadcasting RI. It'll be podcasted up afterwards on Red Circle, Spotify, TuneIn, and iHeart Podcasts at RI Broadcasting. And also follow us on these following social platforms. It is Patreon, Gab, LinkedIn, Space A, Blue Sky, MeWe, TikTok, and Parler at RI Broadcasting. If you want to help support us going on daily or Sports Unfolded and be a part of our family, support the show at rhodeislandbroadcasting.net so you can actually join the family. This broadcast of Falls Count Anywhere is the exclusive property of Erik Dunn Productions, run by Rhode Island Broadcasting for the use of our audience, and any publication, reuse, or redistribution by anyone is not prohibited, and is given the express consent to be shared everywhere, and is greatly appreciated. I'll just get this part out of the way. The Last Time Is Now tournament is about to reach its exciting conclusion. This Friday night on SmackDown, we will know who is John Cena's final opponent of his legendary Hall of Fame bound career. It's either going to be LA Knight or Gunther. LA Knight or Gunther. One of these two will face John Cena for his last ever match. So we'll see what happens with that there. Now to give you guys the update about Survivor Series, War Games. I'll start with John Cena first. I literally thought he was going to retain the Intercontinental title and they weren't going to rip it from him that fast. But unfortunately, I was wrong. So, Ron, let's go over this real quick. You gave me your predictions, so we will go in. So, I guess we'll start off with John first. I'll go out of order. You and I both picked John, I believe, correct? Dominic Mysterio defeated him to get back the Intercontinental title, so we both are 0-1 with that. Flanked by Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, Dom challenged him in the penultimate match of his career. Rodriguez and Perez struck Cena behind the ref's back on several occasions. Mysterio went for a hurricanrana, but landed awkwardly and appeared to re-injure his shoulder. Mysterio was being checked by referee and medics, while Rodriguez and Perez hit Cena with a Tejana bomb and pop rocks. Suddenly, Dominic went back up to his 619. The ref was upset at the deception, and he ejected Rodriguez and Perez from ringside. Cena locked in the STF. Mysterio made it to the ropes before loosening his boot. Cena pulled off his boot, which allowed Mysterio to hit a 619 and frog splash only for a 2 count. Cena clobbered Dunn with a shoulder block, but nailed the referee as well as he leaped out of the way. He hit a double AA attitude adjustment on Finn Balor and JD McDonough. And in shocking fashion, Liv Morgan made her return from injury and slapped Dom. But that's when she revealed her true colors by hitting Cena in the groin, allowing Dom to win. The C Nation leader received a deafening ovation from the WWE Universe inside of Petco Park as he exited Survivor Series for the final time. Never should have lost this title. I don't understand why you wouldn't have just let him retire as Intercontinental Champion, knowing that he could have taken that for his last match. Or hell, even if he didn't retire as Intercontinental Champion, who would have loved to have seen LA Knight become Intercontinental Champion against John? I mean, I would have been happier with that. Have John be champion still, and if LA Knight wins on SmackDown, have him win. Because we already saw Gunther win the title. We don't need him for that anymore. Why the hell not? It didn't make sense to me at all for John to lose it like that. It would have been a much better storyline, beyond a doubt. Just a damn shame that it had to go off like that. The match had to end like that. Definitely was not too happy. And then, Ron, I think you and I split on this one. I got this one right. You got this one wrong as well. The women's War Games match. You picked the Kabuki Warriors, Becky Lynch, Nia Jackson, Last Legend. I picked Rhea, AJ, Charlotte, Io, and Alexa. Correct. So I believe that makes me 1-1, and you're 0-2 so far. Sound fair enough? All right. So while we're doing that, please pull up the updated standings when you can, please. So that way I can keep track of where we are, please. So I'm 1-1. Ron's 0-2 so far. Do you guys remember EO from last year using the trash can off of the cage? Last year was a moonsault. This year it was a swanton front flip. Yep, it was a swanton using the trash can. Literally a moment for the ages. That was the better War Games match as well. That was the better War Games match. So that's that one. That's that one. That was probably my favorite match of the entire thing. And then, Ron, did we pick Stephanie Vaquer to retain over Nikki Bella? Because she did retain the Women's World Championship. Nikki lost. I don't think we picked Nikki, right? All right. So I'm 2-1. You're 1-2. Yep. I'm 2-1. You're 1-2. The Dark Angel did a really good job in this match. I definitely enjoyed it. And then the men's War Game match. Ron, I believe we both got this wrong. We picked Team Cody, not Team Heyman, right? Okay, so Ron, here's the final numbers. I went 2-2. You went 1-3. So please give the updated standings on where we are.
Excuse me.
So with Survivor Series, I went 2-2. Ron went 1-3. And with Saturday Night's Main Event in 10 nights, which will be the final event of the calendar year for WWE until we hit January, the standings currently have me with a 2-point lead. I'm 52-35. Ron's 50-37. But here's the main talk. Who was the masked guy that climbed that Wargames cage and attacked CM Punk? Because right now, we have no idea who it was. People have reason to believe that the masked person was Austin Theory. I still don't understand why it could be him. Well, however, here is the main question. Who is the mystery person? So I found this off of ESPN just to give you guys a quick heads up about it. Who is the mystery man? Who is the one delivered a super kick and stomp to Punk? The moves that are reminiscent of Seth Rollins, who's been sidelined because of shoulder surgery. Could it be Randy Orton, who's been away for 2 months? Maybe Austin Theory, who's been out since July? Or, if you want a wild guess, could it be Chris Jericho? You guys know the rivalry between Jericho and Punk going back to 2012, best in the world, best wrestler in the world versus best in the world at what he does. Do you think it might have been that? I don't really have a clue on that. Because right now that's up in the air. I don't know who was the masked one, and I don't think we're going to find out till much later on. People, for some reason, think it's Theory. I don't think it is. I mean, I don't, I don't understand why it honestly would be Theory, but all eyes are going to be seen. So from Raw Monday night, I don't understand what could have happened. Let me see. Yeah, I don't. I don't. I don't think it was revealed on Raw. I don't think it was revealed on Raw. From what I saw, there was nothing that was revealed about that from Raw at all. So that's that. But I'm certain that we're going to find out what happens with that. Maybe we'll find out SmackDown Friday. I have no idea because I don't think Theory got drafted to Raw. I think he's on SmackDown because Raw was over there. I have no idea. So that's that. Next week, the SmackDown and Raw recap, and I'll give you guys the preview for the final show of 2025. But let's wrap this up, though, with Erik's thoughts. And this is not WWE related. All you Patriots fans out there, Pats are 11-2, off for another 10 days until they take on the Bills on the 14th. Keep your eye to the Bills and Bengals this Sunday. If the Bills lose, I think the Pats might clinch the AFC East with that loss. I actually want to see how it will be. I guarantee that if it's a win, we will get it. I don't know. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, even if the Bills lose to the Bengals on Sunday, they will not clinch the AFC East because of the bye they have. Even though it'll make their clinching scenario a more distinct possibility, it'll make it easier for them if they win their game. So that's the situation. So I believe that will be it. Yep, the Pats will clinch on Sunday the 14th if they beat the Bills. So just keep that in mind. And believe me when I tell y'all, it's going to be a tremendous celebration for all Patriot fans because we've been waiting 6 long years to clinch the AFC East. And honestly, I'll be the first to tell you this too. We all know that the pressure of the playoffs is different for a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of players. This week, Drake May go into the playoffs in just his second year. The 23-year-old has been putting up great numbers and tearing defenses apart. The numbers won't blow you away, but the level of play has been brilliant. I've been telling you guys this too. For those that have been following my show, I'm Done with Sports with 990 WBOB. This week was the 150th broadcast of that program, so I'm very happy about that. Thankful for that. There hasn't been one defense that stopped them. They may have given them trouble, but they didn't completely just eliminate the entire threat. You know what I mean? And I don't know what will happen with Drake going forward, but you know what? If he can remain as consistent as things are, I think the Pats are the team to beat in the AFC. They would have to go through the Broncos, and you guys can remember the last 20 years, we don't have a good track record in Denver at all. I mean, you guys can think back to the 05 AFC Divisional. Tight end Ben Watson running 100 yards down the field to hit Champ Bailey out of the 1-yard line. And then the 2 times, I believe, or 3 times that we've lost to Denver in Denver with Peyton Manning at the helm. You know, it's kind of ironic how Manning would get his revenge fully in Denver. He didn't really get it with Indy because we always owned the Colts. He only got us 1 time, and that was it. Sorry, but or a couple times actually, but nevertheless, I digress. So what happens with the Pats? Celtics, they've won 7 out of their last 10. They've defeated Knicks, Cavaliers, and Pistons, who are probably 3 of the best front runners in the East. Yeah, I know, Eli. I know. So we'll see what happens with that. And then Bruins right now, their up and down season continues. Having to always trail from behind. They're always having deficits to have to try to break up, and you know, I just don't know if they're really gonna really do that well. You know, that's the hard thing I'm trying to figure out with them is are they ever going to be you know, consistent enough? I have no idea. I don't know. What I will say, however, is Michael Sturm is trying to figure out consistency, even though you guys are completely aware that defensively, though, they don't have a defense right now. I mean, you look at Swayman and Korpisalo's numbers, which are horrible, unwatchably bad. If you don't have a defense to help them, there's only so much that they can do. That's why their GAA and their save percentages are one of the worst in the league right now together. I think for both the Bruins and Celtics, this is a reset. Celtics is definitely a reset. Bruins been trying to reset for a few years anyway. I think for the Celtics, this is a resetting year, even though they're in the playoff hunt, which is not a bad thing. Patriots, I think they've already passed trying to reset again, and I think they're actually on the verge of something special. We'll have to see. Providence Bruins has been phenomenal too. 16-4 right now after their first 20 games. This weekend, especially this Sunday at the AMP, it's Fight Cancer Day for the PBs. So as they take on the Springfield Thunderbirds, I'll be at that game actually. They do a lot of great work with the Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. 990 WBOB does a lot of cancer work too with Dana Farber. So it's nice to be, related to in that cause too. So that actually might be something that Ron and I might be looking at next year. Maybe we try to do like a cancer cause or like a, like American Red Cross or Boston Children's, you know what I mean? Something like that, or at least something in the Rhode Island area that we could probably do for like a charitable cause. Maybe we do a couple live shows around like some charities or, you know, something down the road for next year. But of course, thank you guys for your continued support. Um, I mean, a lot of you guys know that we've gone through some changes, especially this year. We've had to pivot on a lot of things, but the climb is slowly but steadily coming. We're trying to get there, and your support and your help is going to increase it, and we gratefully appreciate that. With that being said, next week, SmackDown recap, Raw recap, and the final show of the year recap and preview. We'll break it all down. On behalf of the man behind the scenes, the creative RIB Rodrigo, Erik Dunn here saying so long and thank you from my home in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. This has been a presentation of Thoughts Going Anywhere on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. Happy December. Hope you guys have a great holiday season, as always. And from all of us at RIB and Rodrigo, I'll talk to you guys next week, and happy holidays.